Kathleen, I said today that you would share with our listeners and for them how to select the best agent. Now, we want the short version of that, but the key element is calling you. So I'll say that. But what's involved with the consumer and for the consumer? And talk about cost also.
Well, there's no cost for my service of providing some top agents, and that's key right there. I think it's good to interview at least 2 agents, and have good interview questions is a number one priority. So the selection process is already a bit simpler when people get in touch with me because I have already gone through the many agents that are out there to select ones that have good credentials, good experience, good track record. And then you start from there and look at their profiles. I send over profiles and give you some interview questions to go ahead and call them and say, hey, I'm going to be talking to a couple people. I always encourage folks to say, I'm going to talk to a couple different brokers so that they don't feel obligated right at the end of that call to pick the one that is going to say, hey, come meet with me right now. Yeah.
Good. And then questions. Where do the consumers come up with questions?
Well, I send those along with an email with the profile of the different brokers. And I always encourage people to customize that list for their own specific needs. For example, if you're a condo buyer, you may want to take the conversation a little differently than if you're a single-family home buyer. If you're a first-time home buyer, you might want to look for qualities in an agent that particularly match your needs as a first-time home buyer versus a move-up buyer or that kind of situation. So identify who you are, what your particular circumstances are, and the more you can get detailed on that, the more easily you can match yourself up with the best agent.
Well, I'm reminded of Groucho Marx and George Fenneman Cooper when the duck came down and said, you said the magic word. Kathleen just wins the $40 prize for saying the magic word, match. But you talk about match. You are the matchmaker. You are the matchmaker between our listeners and other consumers who call you because you've been around 22 years-ish in helping buyers and sellers find the right agent with the right match of service talents, skills, to match with what the buyer's wants and needs or the seller wants and needs. You are the master matchmaker, and that is saying a lot, Larry, when we talk about this. Larry, you have been matched up with 20-some agents and haven't had the best of luck sometimes, and you didn't have anything like this. What is your view today, right now, on the cuff? What is your view about this service?
Oh, I think it's terrific, and I wish she had been around 40 years ago or 50 years ago even.
Or 60? You want to go for... No, not quite.
But it is a great service because when you're going into a community that you don't know anybody, living in that community, it is very, very difficult to find the right agent. You're going to rely on people's recommendations, and I have learned that their intentions are great, but those recommendations generally are not very good.
Oh, generally they're pretty poor because it applied to them, and this is the time when consumers are not right.